Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Unlocked. I'm your host today, Tracy Wilson, and it's always my pleasure to be here with you guys, particularly on Fridays, because we know what comes next after Friday. We have an amazing weekend lined up here for us in Australia because it's also another long weekend. We've had 2 in a row, so we've been a little bit spoilt. But after this, boy, we don't get another long weekend till about October. So I am going to be out and about and enjoying it for sure. In today's show, I wanted to talk to you guys, or actually want to share with you, like the 4 key elements to a high converting sales page that's going to enable you to increase your ability to be able to sell almost anything online. Now, I get asked these questions all the time. So I also have an agency that I run that does. We build sales funnels, we build, websites, membership sites, etc., etc. So I've been doing this for quite some time, and when I've looked at kind of like the statistical data of some pages that work really, really well, whether it's our clients build them or we've built them, there are 4 key elements that we've found that you must absolutely have on any type of sales page, regardless of what it is that you are selling, that really do help to increase the conversion rates on those. So what I wanted to do is I want to share these with you today. And what I'm going to say is that today's show is actually brought to you by our good friends over at Usability. So if you head on over today over to Usability, which is a fantastic site that you can go to that builds simple websites and funnels for really busy business owners. So if you're a busy business owner and you need to get yourself up a website, or you need a funnel, or you even need to build out your own online program, then I would encourage you to head on over to Usability and sort yourself out a free trial of a Usability account, and you'll be able to get that free for 14 days. You can test it all out. You can see how it works and it operates. And if you've got any questions, of course, you can come back to me and my team, and we'll be able to help you with any questions that you've got about Usability. But I can tell you that all the sites, all the websites, and all of the funnels and the membership areas that I build these days, I build them all on Usability. And why do I do that? Because they build beautiful sites in comparison to some, and I've used a lot of other different sites. I've been a ClickFunnels ambassador for a number of years, and I now use Usability because it's user-friendly. It means that I can build things really quickly because I've got some beautifully designed templates that actually have these elements already built into them. So when I talk through these, you'll actually see, if you go to Usability, you'll be able to use, the pre-made templates that they have for you, and they already have a lot of these elements already built in. But if you are not using Usability and you're using something else, whether it be ClickFunnels or Kajabi or Samcart or whatever the case may be, and you're building your websites or your funnels on those, then I'm going to take you through 4 key elements that you must have on your page that really will help you to increase the sales, the conversions that you actually have on those pages. So kind of let's get stuck in. And for those of you that are watching right now, just type to me in the chat section, like, what website and funnel builder do you use? Are you using WordPress? Are you using ClickFunnels? Are you using Samcart? Are you already a Usability user? Like, let me know in the chat and tell me what type of builder you're using. Regardless of what it is that you are using, like I said, these elements are really going to help you to increase the conversion rates on your sales pages, your landing pages, and also your order, any order form pages that you've got. And what I'm going to talk you through will help you to also reduce the amount of resistance that your customers will have when it comes to buying. Before I get stuck into that, I want to talk about this because over a number of years, we've sort of been drummed into us that we need to create funnels. And, when you're creating a funnel, it's really easy to kind of go down the rabbit hole of, I've got to create a funnel that has this upsell and this downsell, and it takes my customer from here to here. And all that does is that it's creating a lot of resistance for your customer. So in this case, these 4 elements you could simply use on a 1-page design and be able to convert customers with it. So if you just imagine you're building out a sales page that also has an order form built into it, just 1 page, that technically is all you would need to be able to make this work. Equally, if you were creating a more elaborate sales funnel that had some more upsells and downsells within it, then of course you would would include these elements throughout all of your pages. So let's get stuck in and talk about what are the 4 components and what do they mean and what do you need to kind of include in each of these different areas. So the first kind of component that we want to look at is what we call excite. So whenever we get somebody to go to our website, the first thing we want to do is we want to excite them. We want to make sure that they hang around on the page. So as you know, humans, we have a very short amount of attention span. And I know some of you, and I know this because I can see you guys kind of jumping in and out even in this broadcast right now. We have a really short space of time that we are willing to give somebody before they excite us or before they can entice us into continuing to stay, to listen, and to also read more on any of your pages. So really important that we do this particular piece because it usually happens in the top 1/3 of your page. You want to make sure that you have something on your sales page in the top third that is actually going to excite and entice people to want to stay. We actually have, just a side note here, we have less of an attention span than a goldfish these days. So goldfish has about 7 seconds attention span, and we're less than that as humans with the amount of information that is being thrown at us on a daily basis. So really important that we make sure that we excite people as they come to our websites, our landing pages, etc., etc. So how do you do that? Well, there's a few things that you can do. The first thing that you need to do is you need to make sure that you're promising a big benefit. So as you're, and I'm going to say here that I'm going to assume that you know your customer really well. So before you even, and this is a big mistake that a lot of people make, is they go and start building out their funnels and building out their websites and their sales pages, etc. And they haven't really taken enough time to understand who their customer avatar or their dream client really is, understanding their pain points, their challenges, so on and so forth. So when you do that, it means that when you start creating your websites and your funnels and your pages, etc., that you can become very, very specific because you now know that avatar intimately, so you can speak their language and you can connect with them. Like I said, the first thing is to excite them. How do you excite them? Well, the first things that you need to do is you need to think about one big promise that or big benefit that you're going to make. Why should they actually stay and continue to listen to what you're talking about? And today, most of you guys who will be listening will be selling something online. And if you're not, you should be, because that opens up a huge amount of opportunity for you. And when you do that, you want to make sure that you're building your pages in the right way, because if you don't, this can be the huge difference between you having loads and loads of dollars in sales and no dollars in sales, or very few dollars in sales. So first thing you want to do is understand who your customer is and what the big benefit and outcome is that you're going to be giving them. The next thing you want to do is on the pages, these are just some ideas and things that you can do that will help you to increase the level of excitement and enticement for a customer. So the first is promising a big benefit. The next is actually calling out your specific audience. So if you work with plumbers, then you would call out the plumber on the page. So an example of that might be, the number one plumbing coaching company on the Gold Coast. So when people actually go there, if they're a plumber, they go to that site, they know, and they're looking for somebody locally to help them. They know that you're somebody who helps them with improving their plumbing business, and you are based in a particular area. So that's one way of being able to do it, calling out your specific audience. Even saying, this show today is for those people who want to sell more online. So if that's for you, then today's show would be for you. So that would be an example of how we would call somebody out, and even put that in the headline on your pages. The next thing that you could do is you can reveal a special offer. So often you'll see companies do this, and they'll say, hey, I'm going to give you XYZ for just this amount of dollars for this period of time. So you're just giving it a specific time frame, and you're revealing a very special offer. You'll see lots and lots of big companies do that. Some of them do that on the regular. You just know that you're going to get a really good deal from a company that comes to mind for me is King's 4-wheel drive here in Australia. every day they have specials on something. So you can guarantee that they're going to be doing something like that. But also it gives you a reason to want to keep looking at their catalog to see what are the specials for today. So that's another great way of being able to excite and entice people to come to your page. You can use one or two of those, or use all three of those is the best, is to add all three of those components to entice and excite your audience and your visitors, to get them to continue to want to scroll down the page. So promising a big benefit, calling out your specific audience, and then potentially unveiling a special offer. So that's number one. That's the excite and entice component of the core four. The next component that you want to do is you want to make sure that you connect with your audience. And again, I know I mentioned this right at the beginning of today's show, is about understanding who your audience is. Super, super important, because if you don't know that, or you don't know it deep enough or well enough, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to kind of go through all four of these components and actually connect with your audience on a deep level. So the next component in the elements of four is the connection. So you want to let them know that you're just like them. So an example of this might be that you're a coach, or you're, for example, we have a program that's called the Influence and Authority Method. And I teach people how to create their own show and how to create all of their social media content from their one show. Why did I do that? Because I went through all of the pain of trying to figure things out, spending all my time trying to post on social media, and I would just run ragged and had no time. So I came up with a system and a process for myself. I proved it, I tested it, and then I was able to share that with other people. So you want to let them know that you're just like them. When you can describe and you can explain to people that you've been there, you've done that, you know their pain, you know their challenges and their frustrations, then you can speak to them on a much deeper level. So that's the first thing in the connection piece that you want to do, is let them know that you are just like them. You want to let them know that you know how they feel. And again, I'm going to harp on about this, but this is why it's so important to know and understand who your dream customer and your avatar is, because you want to know their emotions, their feelings, their challenges, the pains that they go through, the problems that they have. So let them know that you're just like them by talking about the fact that you know how they feel, giving them a story about what it was, what was the journey and the process that you went to come up with this particular product, that you understand the problem that they're facing right now, and you also understand their wants and their desires is also really important. So you want to make sure when you're building out your pages, your sales pages, that you're actually covering all of these things off. That will help you, again, to increase the level of success that your landing pages and your sales pages have. The next element in this process is proof. So you want to make sure that you are providing a level of proof. So on your pages, you want to make sure that you are just demonstrating that you're actually credible, that you're not just some Joe Blow that's decided to do a pop-up type scenario, that you're actually proven this, that you know what you're doing, that you can actually get people a result. Really, really important that we do that. So making sure that you demonstrate that you are credible. You also want to demonstrate and be able to articulate that you can deliver. So these things that you put on your page might be testimonials. They could be as seen ons. They could be examples of what you've done. They could be case studies. All of these sorts of things go towards helping to demonstrate that you're actually credible and that you can prove that what you're saying you're going to be able to do, that you actually can do it. You also then wanted to let them know that they're getting an awesome deal. So you want to prove that by giving them the result that they are looking for and being able to deliver on that result, that the amount of money that they are paying for whatever it is that you are providing to them is actually far greater in value than them not having it. So it makes it really irresistible for somebody to want to have and utilize the product that you have created. So making sure that you articulate to them that they're getting a really awesome deal. The next thing that you want to make sure that you have on your pages is that they are buying safe. Right. So whenever they're online, you want to make sure, there's loads and loads of scammers out there. You want to make sure that you've got really good security on your pages and that you show them that you have that. So by having the icons, the secure icons on your page, and also making sure that you actually do have really secure pages is also very, very important. So making sure that you have those on the page somewhere around the payment gateway and the order form section of your page is really important that you do that. Okay, the fourth component or the fourth element in this process when we're looking at high converting sales pages is convert. So to be able to convert people, because now what you've done is you've enticed them, you've allowed them to be drawn into what it is that you're talking about. They know that you're speaking to them. They know that what you're talking about on your sales pages is exactly what they're looking for, because you know and you understand their pain points. You're drawing them down the page. They're seeing the social proof. They're seeing that you are credible. They're getting to know, like, and trust you. And then as they move further down the page, you want to make sure that you're also converting them by reducing and removing the amount of risk that there is associated with dealing with you. And a way in which you can do that is by offering guarantees. Now, these four things that I'm talking about today, in terms of you being able to put all of these onto your sales pages. So the starting with that excite and entice, and then moving through to the connect, then going to the proof, and then lastly with convert. All of these things are the things that we see on really highly converting sales pages. And it is the major difference between some pages that just don't do very well and pages that do really well. So these four components are present on all of those. Okay, so in the convert section, like I said, you want to remove the risk with a guarantee. So making sure that you have a nice, big guarantee on there. Could be for it could be for a short period of time. It could be for it could be 7 days. It could be 30 days. It could be an entire year. So depending on what your product is, then you would be able to offer your guarantee. Hey, Robin, I'm seeing that a bunch of people are jumping on YouTube. So hopefully I'm also streaming live onto Facebook. But if not, hey, get on, you guys that are here on YouTube, you've found me. So thank you for being here. So, and also we want to make sure that we're overcoming their objections. So like I mentioned earlier in the piece, I talked about knowing and understanding your customer. So as you get to understand and know your customer on a deep level, you're then also going to start thinking about, based on what I'm going to offer them, what objections might they have? What objections might they have about the actual product itself? What objections might they have about them using it? What objections in general would they have about your product and or service? And you want to make sure that you're noting all of those down. Why? Because you're going to come back and you're going to answer all of those questions on your page, that by the time they have finished kind of going through all the elements and all of the sales copy and the information that's on any of your pages, they are actually, you've answered all of their questions. They have no more questions. When you can answer them really well, then you kind of you reduce the amount of resistance, and you're allowing the sales process to become really easy. The next thing you want to do is you want to make it super easy to buy. And at the beginning of today's show, I talked a bit about how we've heard about like elaborate sales funnels, lots of upsells, downsells, go here, go there. This process you can do in one page. And what does that do? It reduces the amount of resistance. So if you think about a sales funnel, right? For each individual product, if you think about a sales funnel and you've got a sales funnel lined up with multiple products in it, as people are moving through, it has like there's mathematical equations that say, well, I need to get X number of people in at the top of my sales funnel. When they get to phase number one, kind of filtering themselves down, then I'll have a certain percentage of those people will get to the next page. And then they'll go to the next page. There'll be a certain number of people. And as they move through the sales funnel, there's less and less people actually moving through that funnel in its entirety. that's great if you've got back-end sales, etc., etc. But in this case, what I wanted to do today was give you the 4 elements that make up a really high converting sales page. And I would put these smack bang on the front on your very first product, and every product thereafter, mind you, but very first product. And this also makes it super simple and easy for you. Why? Because it removes the need for you to have any kind of fancy technology or try and stitch together lots of different programs to make an entire sales funnel work. You can do all of this with just one simple page. So I want to just refer you now to our sponsor for today's show, which is the wonderful guys over at Usability. Now, if you guys head on over to Usability and you need to create yourself a website or a funnel or a membership site for that matter, you can head on over to Usability today, use the discount code UNLOCKED, and you will get a 10% discount on some of the services or some of the plans that they have over there in Usability. You also get a 14-day free trial, which means that you can go in and you can have a play around. You can even get your entire website and funnel built before you even have to start paying a cent. And that's what I absolutely love about that program. It's an all-in-one. I also use it for my booking system, so it means that I've been able to reduce my costs with having to pay, other calendar type systems, and it also has a CRM in it. So I'm absolutely loving using that program. And if you head on over there, like I said, you can get yourself a deal today by using the discount code UNLOCKED. So I'm just going to recap for you guys those 4 components again. So what I want you to do, the action out of today's show, is if you are creating a website or a sales page for the very first time, then I want you to note down these 4 things, and I want you to just really think about what can you put on your page, what will you put on your pages to make sure that you cover all 4 of those essential elements, because they truly will help to improve the conversion rate on your page. So I'm going to recap them for you so you can jot them down. So the first component is to excite and entice. The second component is that you want to connect with them. So this is, and again, prior to doing all of this, you need to really understand your customer avatar. And if you want some help with doing that, you want a work-through guide, you can also head on over to my website, tracymwilson.com. It's on the screen right here. And you can download the document that I've got on there, which will help you to work through and start to uncover and understand your customer avatar at a much deeper level. So do that first, then start building out your pages and make sure that you're covering all 4 of these elements. So entice, excite and entice, then we're going to connect, then we're going to give some proof that we're actually capable of delivering the result that somebody is looking for. And lastly, we want to add some conversion tips and elements to the pages through removing the risk with a guarantee, overcoming their objections, giving them a reason to act now with some level of urgency and scarcity, and then also making it really easy for them to buy. So reducing the amount of steps that they need to take to make the purchase actually happen. So there you have it, guys. There are the 4 elements that we have found that make a huge difference to a page or a product that works really well, that sells well, compared to a page and a product that doesn't sell so well. So start implementing all of those into your pages today. And like I said, just to our guys over at Usability, thanks for being the sponsor for today's show. And again, if you guys would like to check them out, go to www.usability. I'll pop it back up on the screen. And Usability is spelt YOUZABILITY.com, and use the discount code UNLOCKED, and you'll be able to get yourself grab yourself a 10% discount on some of the plans that they have over there. So anyway, hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Unlock Show. I will be back again next Wednesday with another episode of Unlocked. I'll have an amazing guest with me next week, so stay tuned, where we talk about all things to help you thrive in your business, your family, and your life. So have a fantastic weekend. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye now.